All right, so let's talk about coffee. As gym owners, we basically live on this stuff. I feel like sometimes I need an IV of it just to get through the day. But I'm also here to tell you that you're drinking it wrong. Which I know is sacrilege, right? Like, how could I be drinking my coffee wrong? I mean, I'm drinking probably 1, 2, maybe 3 cups a day to help me get through the day, to make sure that I have enough energy to coach and clean and talk to my staff and everything else in between that we need to do. So let me guess. Basically, you wake up in the morning and you have a coffee. Depending upon how detailed you are with your coffee, maybe you grind and French press your own coffee. Maybe you do pour over and just ensure that every single bean gets hit with the right amount of water. Or on your way to the gym, you happen to stop through the Starbucks drive-thru and pick up a coffee. Either way, you drink coffee the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning. So then what happens? About 2 p.m. rolls around, also known as the afternoon slump, and it's called that for a reason because boom, you're out of energy. You have nothing. You're dead tired. You're like, I'm gonna go take a nap for, 8 hours because that's what I feel like doing, and I've been up since 4. So listen, I get it. And by the end of the day, you've drank 2, 3 cups of coffee just to make it through the day. So let's talk about biologically something that happens when we first wake up and why drinking coffee when you first wake up may not be the best option. So we know what cortisol is, right? It's that stress hormone that basically wreaks havoc on our body if we have too much of it, and there's so many studies that basically say cortisol is bad. And it is, in excess amounts. However, when we first wake up in the morning, our body actually produces cortisol in order to help us wake up and, come back from the living dead. So when we first wake up, we've got this shot of cortisol that's supposed to help us energized and be awake and everything like that. And then we drink a cup of coffee. But here's the deal. Drinking coffee is like putting a match on a bonfire. The caffeine in the coffee is minimal compared to what the actual cortisol that's in your body is doing. So, if we drink coffee, while also the first thing we do is wake up, we've got cortisol in the system, now we've got caffeine, and the caffeine's not really doing anything, which is why about 2 p.m. all of a sudden we're dead, because the cortisol is now worn off, and the caffeine's already out of our system, so we've got nothing to run on. So if I'm suggesting you don't drink coffee first thing in the morning, when should you drink it? I'm not suggesting you stop coffee altogether. In fact, coffee's great. I have mine right here. But it's also not the first thing I'm drinking in the morning. This is my first cup. It's my only cup that I'm gonna drink today. And I've been up for quite some time now. So when should you drink your coffee? Well, that's gonna depend. It's gonna depend on what's called a chronotype and what chronotype you are. But a general rule of thumb is you actually wanna drink your coffee about 3 to 4 hours after you wake up. That's at the point where those cortisol levels start to deplete, start to taper off. And so now we're gonna need something to put onto these smoldering ashes of cortisol to help reignite that bonfire. Caffeine, right? I've literally been up since about 5, and it's now, I think, it's about 11:30. So I'm actually behind on my caffeine today, but I was busy putting together a rack, so caffeine now. Listen, I used to drink 2 cups of coffee a day, sometimes 3. I used to literally sit there and wish that I had an IV just because I wanted it that bad. And then I switched and, I did some research and somebody once told me, try drinking your coffee later. I was like, you know what? Let's give it a shot. What's the worst that could happen? And I switched. I no longer drink coffee when I first wake up in the morning. And now I drink it about 3 to 4 hours after I wake up. For me, because of my chronotype, I do about 3 hours, but again, that's gonna depend on you personally. And I'm down to 1 cup of coffee a day. and I don't have an afternoon slump. Like I don't, like 2 p.m. rolls around and I'm like, all right, let's go. Like let's produce content, let's make videos, like let's do this, let's go coach, whatever it may be. And so it's drastically changed my energy levels throughout the day. It's actually quite incredible. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be easy. In fact, it's probably going to be really hard for a lot of you. You've made a habit out of drinking coffee first thing in the morning. It's like a religion almost. And so it's going to be hard, right? It's developing a new habit. That's always hard. It's always challenging. But I challenge you to give it a shot. I mean, what's the worst that happens? You go back to it? Right. I mean, realistically, let's face it. You switch, you don't like it, switch back. No harm, no foul. But listen, if you do decide, right, to switch your coffee so you can have more energy throughout the day and be more productive, then what I'd love for you to do is like post in the comments below and say hashtag beat the afternoon slump. Like, let's do this. Let's make a commitment to each other that we're gonna change the way we drink coffee to give us more energy throughout the day to get more done. How's it sound to you? Because it sounds great to me. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Listen, if you enjoyed the video and you enjoy these little tips, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that little bell so you get notified when we post videos, and subscribe to our mailing list because we send these out in an email as well. So yeah, that way you can get it no matter what. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.